Hey everyone, it's Jack here, TalkNorwichCity. Welcome back to another video. Norwich City return to Carrow Road on Saturday. Middlesbrough, the opponents. Really looking forward to this one after a incredibly successful past 7 days, really. Still trying to wrap my head around Norwich City winning 2 away matches in a week, which was absolutely brilliant. Watford and Portsmouth. 2 performances that had a lot to like, and also huge areas of improvement as well. And I'm hoping that this Saturday we start to see some of those bits of improvement start to bed into Norwich City. I guess let's start with injury news. Just the one bit of news really, and it's a disappointing one. It's that Marcelino Nunez will be out for what looks to be a couple of weeks. Thankfully, we've got the international break on the horizon, so that will take out a little bit of damage, but still disappointing news because Marcelino has been one of the best performers in the early stages of this season so far. I thought he was absolutely excellent against Watford. I thought he was brilliant against Portsmouth. And we've gone from a place with Marcelino of he was probably going to go this summer. And I don't think too many people were overly fussed about it. It was a weird one with Marcelino because I think heading into this summer, everyone really wanted to keep him, and then there was the news that he'd been linked with, I think it was a couple of Turkish sides, wasn't it? Although I'm pretty sure that was a bit of agent talk, trying to hype the papers up a little bit. And because we'd signed Wright and because we'd signed Topic, I think everyone was fairly calm about it. But actually, Marcelino Nunez has been keeping Jacob Wright out of the side, and rightly so. And now everyone wants to keep Marcelino. I think he's an important one to keep around because we've seen Kenny McLean is out injured. Hopefully he'll be returning soon. I see that he's back in training and looking sharp. And now Marcelino's injured. You're down to 2 central midfielders really in terms of the holding ones. So that's where we're at in terms of injuries. Thankfully everyone else looks fit and good to go. Again, I've put this team on, and I know it's not going to be this team, but I think we're in a really interesting position now with how we line up, what shape we go with, and how we're going to approach this home game. Now, on opening day against Millwall, the lineup we had, it was kind of, it was a 4 at the back, sort of, maybe a 5. There was a lot of disappointment around that, and Jeffrey Schlupp started out on the left-hand side. You had Jack Stacey. Then we kind of switched it up with a little bit more of an advanced play at Watford. Portsmouth, you would say, was probably a 5 at the back in terms of like actual lineup, but was more like a 3 because Diallo and Stacey and then Fisher played so high up. So it'll be interesting to see with the second home game how we line up. Now, Middlesbrough, this is going to be a really good test, I think. Middlesbrough have had a strange start to the season. They're one of the few teams in the division that have won both of their games. They beat Swansea 1-0 and they beat Millwall 3-0. So 2 tricky games, yet to concede in the league, 100% record. They then had that peculiar 4-0 defeat to Doncaster in the Cup where, look, I guess you can cross a line through that form, but still a strange one. And you just look at their lineup and you go, yeah, that's a pretty good Championship 11. You've got Morgan Whittaker, Hayden Hackney, Tommy Conway, Luke Ayling. You've got Dale Fry at the back. Like, it's a good team, and I think this is going to be a real test for Norwich. And we have to adapt. I think the first half performance against Watford and Portsmouth were good. I was happy with those. I thought we looked really sharp. And then we tailed off slightly. And I don't think that's a massive concern. I think that's a mixture of a few things. I think when substitutes come on and you're trying to mix things up, it's still difficult to get that cohesion across straight away. I think there's a fitness element here as well. But I've stuck this team on screen because I think in terms of home games and really wanting to take it to opponents, I like this kind of shape. And I know that you're then missing a centre-back. In this instance, I've dropped Cordoba out of the side. But I like how we look when we play like this. I think Oscar Schwarto in behind the striker, that's a hill I'm kind of willing to die on, but I like the way that we look when we've got that. Ante Sinet's out on the right, Papamadou Diallo out on the left. It's going to have to be Mirko Topic and Jacob Wright in the middle. The 2 centre-backs kind of pick themselves at the moment. And then the right back and the left back, well, that's still very much up for grabs. I've stuck Kellen Fisher in there. I suspect it will probably be Jack Stacey. And then Ben Crescene. Lucian Mahovo won't be back for this game, but hopefully will be soon. So the other option is Jeffrey Schlupp. I think you'd rather go with Ben Crescene. But with that being said, there have been points in the last few games where that 5 at the back has looked fairly advanced. And I like the combination of Cordoba, Darling, and Medic. I like how that looks, and I think it looks far better against Portsmouth. I thought Medic looked far more comfortable on the ball and far more comfortable in his role. And then that means you can get, I assume, Stacey, but it might be Fisher on the right-hand side, basically playing as another winger, and Papa Amadou Diallo playing fairly advanced as well. It's fluid and it will change, and I think sometimes it's difficult to actually pinpoint what system we're playing during the match because, depending on attack and defence, it can change so much. But it's pleasing that we've got the options, and I think the defensive line, it's nice to go, well, you could drop him in there, and you've got the options. It doesn't feel like we've had that before, particularly in the wider areas. Kovacevic obviously picks himself and is quickly becoming a bit of a Norwich City hero after the Portsmouth game. But I think this is a big game for Norwich because we yet to see us win at home. I know we've had one game, but you want to get that off your back pretty quick, especially as a new manager and new players in and around the dressing room. We've obviously had 2 brilliant away wins. Granted, one of those was in the Cup. But I think this is a good litmus test because I think there were some people kind of fearful for Borough at the start of the season. I don't think people really knew how to rate them. But at this moment in time, with their start to the season, I mean, they've just gone to a team away from home and beat them 3-0 that we lost to. I think if you can beat Borough or at least put in a good performance and not lose to Borough, I think that puts you in a good spot in terms of, okay, we've gone away to Portsmouth and we've beaten them. We've beaten a pretty strong Watford team in the Cup. Yes, we got unpicked by Millwall, but it was the first game of the season. If you can continue that momentum, go back to back to back, that's a really good feeling. And I think that starts to breed confidence. And then after that, you've obviously got another Cup game with Southampton. You've got Blackburn, Coventry, Wrexham. You can envisage a world where you start to build that momentum. And that is a really good feeling. So this feels big. And I know I'm probably going to be saying every game this season that it feels big. But, okay, can we cope without Marcelino Nunez? Let's see. Can we pivot things up from a 5 to a 4 and vice versa? Can we improve those second half performances where we seemingly tail off after about 60 minutes? Because I can guarantee if we tail off after 60 minutes, we will get punished against Middlesbrough. This feels a bigger test than Portsmouth. This feels a bigger test than Watford. This actually feels a bigger test than Millwall. So let's see what we've got. I've been really impressed with Darling so far. I thought Medic looked far better against Pompey. Mirko Topic, I'm so glad we got him over Pel Matson. Jacob Wright, here's your opportunity. Go and get it. Go and play slightly more advanced if you want. Get some goals this season. I see him being the type of player that will grab an opportunity and run with it. So I'm excited to see him. I want to see more from Ante Cianats. I don't think I've seen enough. I think he's gone missing in games too much this season. He will be hopeful that at some point he gets to play through the middle. But at the moment, if he's playing football, he's going to have to be out wide. Papa Amadou Diallo's been great. And can Josh Sargent continue his 100% goal scoring record where he just scores in every single game? That will be interesting to see. What will also be interesting to see is how all of you get on the TNC Betmate League. Now, we have basically got £100 guaranteed payout. They are paying top 20 places. So if you're in the top 20 in our league, you will get some cash. To join, download the app. You can scan the QR code on screen or the link is in the description. Head over there, go to the search bar and type in TNC-03. You then pick a 7-a-side team for the Norwich against Middlesbrough game. A mixture of players, captain, vice-captain. It's kind of fantasy football. Completely free to enter. Pretty much a guaranteed prize if you're quick. And it's great fun. Head over to Betmate. There's loads of free games. If you enjoy that, you can get stuck into the paid ones as well. You have to be 18 plus and you have to gamble away. That's Betmate. The link's in the description. TNC-03. Join the TNC League. I'll see you over there. So with all being said, This feels like a big game. I'm buzzing to get back to Carrow Road. I think the atmosphere is going to be electric. There's a real excitement around the place at the moment, and that feels great. It feels good to be excited about the football that we're watching. And we have options. I mean, I've left, quite a lot of players out there who will be going, I think I deserve a spot in there. Mate Jurisic, are we ever going to see him again? He's a £7 million player that I wouldn't mind seeing some football from this season. Matthias Kvistgaarden, where's he going to get in? You've got Liam Gibbs, you've got Jovan Makama. As I say, you've got Kellen Fisher, you've got Jack Stacey, you've got Schlupp. There are options, and that's great. Middlesbrough up this weekend. I think I would take a point. I just want to see us continue this momentum moving forwards. Can we go 5 games unbeaten? Can we go 10 games unbeaten? Just keep building. Keep on building. This is going to be one of the tougher games of the season, I think, with Middlesbrough. So I think we'll get a real idea of where we're at. I will go for I said I'll take a point. I'll say we'll go for a 2-1 win. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. Get stuck into BetMate. Links in the description. Join the league completely free. And I will see you at Carrow Road on Saturday, where even more excitingly, they're now serving Laken's beer. Thanks very much for watching, everyone. Bye-bye.